Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 25th of November, and as we head towards Turkey Gobble Gobble Day, market continues to move back up. We had the election burst and then filled back those positive extremes, but we saw the turnaround taking place as shorts pretty much faded out of the situation. Saw it here with the MBI white and the magenta pop back above, which was a strong lead to the upside push. We were above all of the key metrics here. We moved back to the 76%. Then we got the ABM green as well, and then started moving back up. And then once above ABM yellow, 100% is the next ride all the way up. Should not be a problem to reach those new highs. We've got the build here from a DOC standpoint. Everything's moving in the right way. Shorts declining here. Short-term buyers were moving up as well now, taken over by midterm, long-term buyers in the red and the green. All good from that standpoint. I was talking to some people over the weekend about whether the Trump trade was over, too soon, too fast. No, I think that it's going to build. But that being said, I think there's going to be a lot of winners and a lot of losers within this setup, and it's going to depend on what sectors you're in. From a technology standpoint, I think it's going to be definitely a boon. Really, no headwinds up to that, but depending on where you're located, because those that are more U.S. based are probably going to do far better than others that maybe are in more protected zones. And I think that's really going to be the interesting one that the market will start to sift through and pick winners and losers. Now that the cabinet selections have been done, there'll be the fights that go on from there. That play back and forth, but how much damage will be done prior to, and whether the readings for the economy will reflect it, we're going to see. Treasuries, we're just caught into a no man's land at this particular stage, because I think the Fed is pretty much hamstrung until Trump is in and they get a clear idea of where he's going with things. So all those factors they have a significant play, and then it just depends on which side of the train you're on, and we're just going to be able to see it pretty clearly because it'll show up from our readings without any doubt. When we turn to the oil setup, some people think that oil is in for a real negative run. I don't think that will happen just yet. I think there's still a lot of problems. The world situation is still quite a bit unstable at this particular stage, and that is going to be a net support overall for oil at this particular stage. You can see shorts are rising, they're preparing, because when Trump does come, yes, there's going to be a move to drive prices down, but you're still a ways from that, and they can't really prejudge it. Now, this one was pretty obvious. Do you clearly see they don't get it? Yeah. And I told you we'd get into a crisis mode here. When we broke down to the 103, that was panic mode. Central banks having to jump in to keep that one from continuing to slide. And I was talking to my European friends, many of them many years ago too, when we were in the 128 plus range and stuff. And they're like, "Oh, I'm saving for." I'm like, just don't save in euros. Buy some French francs, whatever. The euro is going to be imploding over time here. Obviously, it was staved off with Biden policies, but Trump's not going to be that kind of the euro. He doesn't care, and it's just going to make European exports and things like that more expensive in the U.S. But there's no help for the euro at this particular stage, and if people don't see it, that's okay. Likewise for gold, they think that inflation is going to stop somehow. I think you'll be surprised at some of the readings, and I think that when we actually get back to some real math, things could be potentially worse, and that could drive things a little bit further. There's still going to be quite a bit of back and forth with it, but definitely the dynamic has shifted to crypto, and you can see that. It just was a matter of time. A lot of people say, "Oh, but I don't trust blah blah." It's like once you saw BlackRock and these others setting up these ETFs, they kept price artificially low once they created, like we talked about years ago, the futures for it, until they could develop it into a mainstream asset category that they would be able to have broader control over. And once they got that pretty well underhand, you could see the explosion took place right after that. And it just took a little time for them to build it, but it was preset what they were planning to do, and it's not like they didn't broadcast it. It was just a matter of, following the signals as they come, and it's been pretty straightforward as far as that goes. I think ETH chart not quite there. When we move to an intraday mode, you can see last week just a little sloppy. And I think it's going to get even more sloppy now that we get into the holiday week, particularly by Tuesday, definitely Wednesday. You're going to get a lot of craziness because you have third tier guys that are going to be moving into trading it, and they like to make things swing a little bit so they can look really good, and it does have an impact. But as it stands, people are attitude-wise shifting towards prospects of economic growth. It was interesting because you saw reports from restaurants and that saw an uptick in volume in that, which is an indication that people were feeling a little bit better about where things were headed. So we'll continue to follow all that. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of wrangling and stuff in between, but overall, I think the trajectory seems pretty clear that we're headed for a pro-growth phase. How long that will take to actually develop and whether it will be easy or not, that's the secondary issue. But optimism, people's opinion of things is sometimes, well, actually, it's always more relevant than actual data, and that's the whole point of futures and that anyway. So we'll just continue to follow the readings. As always, anything relevant, I'll put on the Skype chat. Have a good one. Trade well.